If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. The Great Reset I've been talking about, obviously, a lot. I have to show you what they're doing now. We've heard about the deliberate food supply delays, the shipping containers not being delivered to stores, the cargo ships sitting in the middle of the ocean. And last month when I was talking about it, I had mentioned this because what they're doing is they're trying to force these people out of their jobs with these mandates. They know very well that most of these people aren't going to comply. Of course, some will because some have no choice and some don't believe as strongly against the potion as we do, so they do give in. But what they really want to do, which I've been talking about for years, is replace humans with the thing they love most, robots. That's right. And for years I've been talking about the driverless cars and the danger of it, which by the way, I mean, do the citizens have a right to be concerned if there's cars driving around with no drivers? Like if I see a car driving without a driver in the car, like I'm about to show you, I would be highly concerned. Is there a law against this? Do people get to vote on this? Right? Who's liable in the event of an accident? Well, anyway, they're replacing drivers now. Walmart is using the driverless trucks to deliver groceries, and this is something you're going to continue to see because they're already hinting at this being the resolution to the reason that there's a truck driver shortage. Take a look.
Walmart reports a major breakthrough in autonomous technology, driverless trucks. The company actually says they've been on the road for months, and News Nation correspondent Tom Negovin is on the road as well, live in Manhattan with more on how this works. And Tom, you are actually driving right now, sir.
Right, we are, Nicole. This is a Tesla Model S, actually. You mentioned Tesla a second ago. It has some limited self-driving. We're not using it right now in the bumper-to-bumper Manhattan traffic, but turns out in other parts of the country, Walmart's been using it a whole lot with no one behind the wheel. This is it, the driverless truck Walmart's been using to drive sales at its online grocery business, cutting costs by literally cutting out the middleman or woman who used to be behind the wheel. A partnership uniting Arkansas and Silicon Valley, the world's largest retailer, teaming up with a tech startup you've probably never heard of.
So that's the milestone that we are sharing with the world today. And, you know, to my knowledge, we are the first and the only company doing something like this.
And they've been doing it since August, running 2 fully autonomous Walmart box trucks on a 7-mile loop for about 12 hours a day with no driver, touting it as an industry-first driverless milestone. Other companies working on similar technology, the Kroger supermarket chain has been testing autonomous delivery since 2018. Albertsons is testing last-mile delivery in Northern California using remote-controlled carts. But this is leading edge, and if you're worried about safety, the companies say they are too, working and waiting a long time before taking this dramatic final step.
For the first 2 years, we were doing operations with a safety driver on board, making sure that we got data, got experience on this route, knew these routes intimately before we could take the driver out.
You know, New York City traffic really makes you yearn for the development of autonomous technology. What Tom calls this sort of the holy grail of the whole equation, taking the driver out of the equation. And we're actually heading south toward Wall Street. If you were expecting a big reaction on Wall Street to Walmart's news today, didn't happen, which, Nicole, you could take as a sign of acceptance that we consider the future a long way off. Well, I think maybe investors understand it's now.
It is now, Tom. 2 things here. First of all, still seeing the video of those box trucks with no driver. Hard to get used to. Secondly, Tom,
Yeah.
please be careful in that rush hour traffic. And thank you.
Now, if you can't connect the dots and see what they're trying to do here, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They come out, they tell us that we can't have, for those people who celebrate holidays, you can't have your holidays. No one's going to get presents. No one's going to have food. There's nothing on the shelves. Everything's bare. And then people go, well, why is everything bare? If all of the products are sitting in the ships out on the sea and nobody can, well, it's because nobody's driving trucks. Even though if you go on a local highway near you, you will see trucks everywhere. But they want you to believe that there's a truck driver shortage. Now, truck drivers will tell you there isn't a shortage. They're putting in new mandates. They're putting in new laws to prevent them from delivering the goods because they don't want them to be delivered. But who can come to the rescue? The self-driving truck. That's right, the self-driving truck can deliver your groceries. Now, I don't know who's going to bring the groceries to your door. I'm assuming you'd have to do that yourself. But this is how you replace humans, right? I was talking about the drones that are delivering pizzas in Israel, the drones that are delivering. UPS is pushing the drones, using drones instead of using drivers. I mean, if people are okay with this, then they're out of their minds. But unfortunately, we have the extreme liberal party, which, and I never do left or right paradigm because it's just a paradigm. But these people who identify themselves as that are such extremists and insane human beings, if you want to call them that. Yeah, and I mean the human part, not the insane part. That they'll be the people who are okay with this type of stuff. Cool technology. Instead, people should be going, why would we want to replace humans with robots? Even if they claim it's more efficient, even if they claim they'll get there faster, why would we want humans to be replaced and lose jobs? Can't you see what that leads to and where that goes? And what that doesn't just mean for humanity, what it means, well, for the whole world. I guess that is what it means for humanity. Replacing them with driverless trucks. Now, another story too, and I'm going to get into this in more detail, is you're starting to hear more stories about car accidents. And really, I have a feeling that there's going to be an uptick, especially with the towers and everything and all the graphene out there, that there's going to be an uptick in stories about car accidents and an uptick in the numbers of them and people texting and driving and all this stuff. Because remember, all of this connects to a smart city pretty much being like a smart world, a smart country in America, where everything is connected. So there aren't drivers. It's connected. The car's driving itself. What's driving the car? These towers are. These computers are. These quantum computers. So we start here with this week. The retail giant Walmart revealed that it's been using a driverless truck on a daily route since August with tech developed by a startup called Gatik. The retailer has been using 2 box trucks on a 7-mile loop in Arkansas without a safety driver behind the wheel performing runs. I mean, without a safety driver. So who gave the okay to do this? Didn't somebody have to give the okay? Right? Some government official give the okay? Or do Walmart's just like, yeah, we're just going to send it without even having a guy behind the wheel, just in case something goes drastically wrong, like the car drives into people or drives through people standing on a sidewalk or something along those lines. Nope. No big deal, folks. We're just going to send it out in the world and you're going to deal with it. The company's pointing out that this is the first time that the autonomous truck has been operating without a safety driver on a commercial delivery route, middle mile route. In fact, Gatik and Walmart obtained the first ever permit issued by the Arkansas State Highway Commission for using this type of truck. In this case, SAE level 4 without a driver last December after 18 months of successful tests. I mean, when did the citizens have say in anything? I guarantee the majority of people would say, no, thank you. Especially in a state like Arkansas. They'd say, we'd rather have a human do it. It's another job for a human being. And we don't trust the safety measures. And we don't want humans being replaced by robots. But we live in a world where people do want humans replaced by robots. And that's part of the Great Reset. This technology taking over our world, taking over our society. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Do you want to be replaced? Because at some point, whatever you do, you might go, well, A robot can't do what I do. They're replacing waiters. They're replacing drivers. They're replacing just about anything. Factory workers, mechanics, with machinery. At some point, they're just going to go, we don't need you anymore. And that's exactly what they're building right now with this destruction of capitalism. Everybody with equal, is on an equal playing field. The robots are doing all the work. Nobody has any skills. Nobody has any trades. These types of things people look at and they just go, that's neat. That's cool. They don't think deep enough to realize what this means for society as a whole. There is nothing positive to take out of this. But again, when you hear stories about an uptake in car accidents and things like that, it's going to be because they're going to say what we need to get rid of this number, to lower this rate, is we need self-driving cars. Then we won't have to worry about, and they'll come out with statistics, they'll say, there's been no accidents, there's been no problems. And people go, wow, that's great. So I don't have to be nervous about getting in a car accident. Because all they need to do is see about 50 car accidents on the news every day. Oh, there's 100. Oh, just like the numbers with the 1-9er. Oh, there's 1,000 this month. People go, oh, I'm afraid to go out and drive. And they'll say, but the self-driving cars have 0 accidents. They do? Give me one, right? Then they'll try to put somebody like me in a self-driving car, and of course it'll drive right off a cliff. They'll be like, oh, there was 1 accident, of course. Oh, how convenient, right? Couldn't pay me to get inside one of those things. This is the way that it's headed. So expect these driverless trucks to step in and be the hero at some point to the shipping problem, oh, nothing's getting on the shelves because of the drivers, blaming it on the drivers who literally just want to do their job, who are having mandates imposed on them when they sit in a truck by themselves the majority of the day driving. And they need to have this mandate put on them? Well, of course they need to have it put on them because they don't want them to have jobs anymore. Part of the thing with the mandates is they want to take jobs away from people and give jobs to either the military or to robots because they want it to be a military state. So you can expect the driverless trucks to come in and save the day for Big Brother, and everyone will say, this is wonderful and great. And then it's going to just continue to go on and lead to driverless cars, self-driving vehicles. The millennials will love it. Apparently, they don't like to drive cars anyway, right? They like something else to do it for them, so then they can text the whole time because they don't have anything going on in their skulls. And this is how the world ends, folks. Just by pushing and wanting things like this, the destruction of humanity. And again, this all leads to mixing iron and clay, mixing humans and machinery. A reminder, check out the website at callfornuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. If you haven't checked it out, I recommend you do. You will like it. I'm very sure. If you had checked it out in the past and it wasn't working for you, I definitely recommend you try it again. It's working on mobile devices now much better than it was. So check it out. You can share your information, share your channel, whatever you want over there. I want to thank the Patreons because of you. It keeps me here on YouTube. If you're not a Patreon, please consider becoming one. And I want to thank all of you again for your kind words and support. Appreciate all of you greatly. God bless you and your families.